I want you to breathe. I want you to breathe. I want you to breathe.
Hello, friends. We're back. We're Black and Curious. I'm Kandron,
Hey, it is Deja.
and we are continuing our exploration of the relationship with yourself. And this week, we're talking about how how it interferes with or interacts with your relationship with other people.
Child. One thing I know for sure, and I feel like I've said this so many times on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I started it last year, was like separating myself from other people's obligations of me.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is like that's how we come into conflict with ourselves, is when we are living up to obligations that are placed upon us and not things that we naturally obligated ourselves to.
Mm-hmm.
So that has been my biggest like conflict, like trying to compromise and bend backwards to an obligation that I never agreed to
Created.
or
Yeah.
created. Yeah. And so like I don't do that anymore. Now, if in intimate relationships, I have conceded that this is what I want to do, so that our situation, relationship, friendship, whatever the case may be, works, then that's one thing. But for you to have this, fabricated idea of like who it is that I am and how I should show up in your life, no, I'm not doing that shit anymore. So
Yeah.
like the way that that has affected me has been like a radical chopping up of relationships, or like cutting relationships off completely, or like checking things at the door, like this I don't like and I'm not going to deal with it. I'm just not doing.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you reconcile that within yourself, and that isn't even my concern or my
Mm-hmm.
problem.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think for me, as I have gotten more clear about my boundaries, it and being and making sure that people don't encroach upon my boundaries, it
Mm-hmm.
has created conflict.
Mm-hmm.
And in a lot of those situations, it's like, no, this isn't up for debate.
Right. This ain't
If we're
about you.
going to be in relationship with one another, whatever level that is, these are my ground rules. Now there's
Mhm.
flexibility around some of this stuff. There's flexibility around, I don't know, just different things, but this set of things is not up for
Right.
debate. And so, some people see themselves out.
Bye bye.
Some people, some people are okay with it, or it takes this like a learning curve. But if I see people are trying, I've also encountered that where I see people in my life are trying to, they're not getting it right all the time, but they are trying. And so I'm more
Yeah,
lenient about that experience. But as far as like people are just like, no, I'm not going to do that. It's just like, well, no, we're not going to be in a relationship with each other.
pretty much. I
Like,
think the biggest or the most recent flex of that is I had a conversation with my sibling
hmm,
a few weeks ago, and in having said conversation, she had asked me. Well, she didn't ask me. You know how people will use another situation as a means to express how they feel about something that you do.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I really don't like that.
Me neither.
But whatever. So she did it, and I was just kind of like, I feel that's one, that's effed up that you basically changed the other sister changed her behavior so that you could be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and understandably, I'm not necessarily giving away the whole conversation, but like the gist of it is like if you're in conversations with someone and they are asking you questions to clarify statements that you're making, and then in said conversation the questions that are being asked of you actually have not ever thought of or reconciled within yourself. So instead of thinking that, you think, I don't like how this person is questioning me, and
Mm.
I don't like how I'm being spoken to. And it's not, nobody's attacking you. It's literally that you haven't reconciled these questions that are being asked of you. So there's something that you should take back and think about within yourself. A, why am I triggered? Because why is it so bothersome to me? And then B, well, what do I think?
Yeah.
You know, like it's not a personal attack, but then to turn around and say to the opposite, the person asking the questions, that you don't like that and that they need to change that behavior so that they can be in a relationship with you. And also on top of that, that you want them to go back to who they used to be. And the person they used to be was someone who had not been through therapy or had any sort of therapeutic training.
Yeah.
And so those things affect who it is they are. And they're also a whole lot happier now. They're a different person. That type of stuff, I am flat out like, what we got down to was, it ain't never finna happen. I'm never gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to change or make myself small so that you can feel comfortable.
Right.
Like, I'm never going to do that. And I would not ask you to do that. I'm not even asking you to change the shit about you that has bothered me over the years. I have accepted that this is who you are. And then either we're going to be in a relationship or we're not. But I'm not going to, that's crazy to me.
Yeah. I think I agree with you. Like, pretty much anytime that it's come in conflict for me, it's been sort of those sort of same experiences. Or even not just like who you were. It's like, okay, I've been through therapy, man. Like, and honestly, therapy, I know it's not something that everybody does or everyone has even the luxury of doing, but it's like, it makes a really big difference. And it makes you think a lot about how you want to be in relationship to yourself, how you want to talk to yourself. I know for me, in being in therapy, negative self-talk is like my biggest arch nemesis, and just like that kind of stuff, and how you want to treat yourself. And as an extension of that, how you treat yourself is how you're going to have to expect other people to treat you. And when you are in relationships with people who have treated you however they felt like they wanted to treat you for however many years, it's going to be a problem when you tell them they're going to have to come up a little higher.
I agree. Like, I totally understand in the instance, in the statement that you just made, that like, that however it was before that you were treating me ain't it. Not for me, not anymore. I'm in a different place. I'm in a healed place, and I'm not comfortable with that level of interacting with you, right?
100%.
By all means, okay. But then to tell someone, like, the situation that I had, I was like, what? That's just a reflection.
Crazy.
Yeah, because I'm like, that's a reflection on you. If you feel attacked by what someone is asking of your own thoughts,
right,
that's personal.
Yeah. But also, like I said, I think this goes back, and we had an extensive conversation here about therapy and how it has affected our relationships. So I'll link that, above where I can. But yeah, I think it's the dealing with the people who have not been to therapy. It makes
that
it more
send you back
complicated.
to therapy.
Yeah, it's like, I'm in therapy. I read somewhere, I'm in therapy to deal with people who won't go to therapy.
Hello?
Like, yeah, kind of.
That is a real statement. And then, like, even with your own, like, parents, siblings aside, right? Dealing with your own parents, the biggest thing that I have in the transition that I've had over the last 5 years, but definitely in the last 2 years, was just kind of like, you know what, you're gonna be who you are, and that's gonna piss me off every now and again. And at times I might have to separate myself for a couple of months until I feel like being bothered. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I cannot ask you to change who you are. If you choose to change on your own so that we can be in a better relationship, great, amazing. But if you don't, then so be it. I'm just gonna move. I will change. I'm gonna move differently in relationship with you or out of relationship with you.
Yeah.
And I think that most people want to point the finger and tell someone else what they need to do, as opposed to, no, control the controllable. What you have control over is how you interact with other people.
Right.
You can't, especially old people, they're not finna change. They done been this way 75 years. Like,
old people's a whole different other thing, but
girl, okay. The aunties and the foolishness, like, even yesterday, riding around with my family, and my mom she was just talking, and she said something about someone else in the family, and I was just kind of like, that's not right. And she's like, well, I don't care. And I just never said nothing else about it.
You just have to disengage sometimes too. And I think that's part of it too. It's like
you ain't got to say everything. Shit, especially when you're talking to old, staunch, honorary people. Like, just let it be.
Old blacks say all manner of problematic things.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have to let them cook. But you don't have to, but a lot of times I just let them cook as long as it's not something that's encroaching on my own personal ethic. But just like I said, bringing it back around, as you change, everybody can go, and
they sure can. That is a true statement.
And so if they aren't willing to get in formation, get in compliance, honey, with the new boundary,
I'm telling you.
I would tell you.
I think the other thing too that people struggle with, siblings, parents, aunties, like cousins, those that are older than we are, is that they don't know how to accept the new change. But it's like, girl, I'm almost 40 years old. Fuck you mean? Like,
that part.
At some point, you should have known that I was going to grow out of this, just like you grew out of the things that that you didn't like that your elders was doing and saying. Like, what is wrong with you?
You haven't always been talking to people this crazy.
Girl.
You grew into that. I'm growing into a new thing too, ma'am.
We's doing a new thing, okay? Ain't that a Psalm 91? Wait, yeah. It's a song somewhere. I don't have my journal, but yes, that's a song. It's like, we are doing a new thing. Okay, get with it. Okay. Maybe I'll start handing out the scripture to people when they start talking to me crazy.
Oh yes, you're going to reach a new level of old people if you start handing out scriptures to people on a whim. Anywho, drop down in the comments. Let us know how your improved relationship with yourself has improved or has impacted your relationships with other people.
Yeah, because baby, it ain't easy.
It's not. So follow us everywhere, like, comment, and subscribe. Everything is down below in the description box. And we'll talk next time.
Bye, y'all.